Hey y'all, Brandon Renas here. Hope you're doing absolutely amazing. Alright, so today's going to be kind of a potpourri. I'm not going to stick to any one major topic. I just kind of want to go over a few things before we go into Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hope it's absolutely amazing. Enjoy your time with family. I hope it's encouraging. I hope it's uplifting. I hope there's lots of great, serious content and conversation. If it's all about the weather and sports, to me, it's such a waste of life. And this is coming from a football fanatic. I love life. I enjoy it, but if we're just talking about blah, stuff to not offend anybody or to not actually talk about real things, I mean, I guess for me, it's just like I go home and I'm like, that was a waste of my life. That was a waste of my time. Yeah, I was around family, but, it's not like I was helping them or, bringing us together, working out issues or anything of that kind. Anyway, that's just my perspective. But today I want to start with, we're going to start with the negative thing on Donald Trump, with what's going on with him, and then I kind of want to go through a few different issues that are going on in this world, and we also have some of the positive things Donald Trump is doing. Let's start with negative. First of all, it sounds like Donald Trump is coming out and saying that he is not going to prosecute Hillary Clinton. Well, again, he couldn't prosecute her, but he said that he was going to go out and find a special prosecutor to go out there and investigate Hillary Clinton. I think he should have. I think it's a shame that he's not. I do not like that he's backtracking on this. First of all, it's breaking a promise. And second of all, it's showing that, hey, you know what? If you're popular, if you've got the last name Clinton, if you've been in politics a long time, we're going to treat you differently than others. Now, there are people that are making the argument that Donald Trump is just trying to separate himself. He's trying to make everybody not freak out that he's not a dictator and, hey, I'm going to do this. And they're using the argument that, hey, I am not going to, or that Donald Trump is just, he's going to allow all these other FBI agencies that are already investigating her, the IRS and the FBI, and he's just going to leave them alone and not do anything about that. And maybe that's the case. But in my opinion, Donald Trump should be like, hey, I do not want to come across as a dictator. I am not going to blah, 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 control and set a special person on Hillary Clinton. With that said, I am going to do everything in my power to make sure the Department of Justice, the IRS, the FBI, all of these people are going to be holding her to the same level of accountability that they would an average Joe, an average Brandon, an average you, an average me, or whoever. Doesn't matter what your race, what your age, we're going to hold her to that same level of accountability. And to me, that would be fine. That would be him saying, hey, I'm not getting a special prosecutor, but she is not going to be treated any differently. And to me, he's not doing that. And so, I understand there's going to be there's the Trump bandwagon rioters that are like, oh, no, he's really going after her just kind of in a sneaky way. Maybe he is. But I think you're a little bit too much on the bandwagon and you're not actually looking at things critically and educatedly. I mean, Donald Trump hasn't been too shady about things. He hasn't been too, he doesn't hide about things when he proudly does it. And that he's kind of allowing this to happen without being public and saying, no, this is not happening. I will not stand for it. It makes me think that he supports letting Hillary Clinton go. And to me, that's truly sad. It's really just saying, you know what? There are special people in this world, and they will not get treated like the average Joe. You go to prison, her name's Hillary Clinton, she won't. Peace out. And that, to me, is a disgrace. So Donald Trump, I am not impressed with you on that. If I was your advisor, if I was in your cabinet, I would not be happy with you at all. And this is my video telling you that. Now, I will say that there are some positives about Donald Trump, and that's kind of what I want to get into. Well, actually, first, before we go there, let's go into one more negative thing. For Secretary of State, I am not impressed at all with Donald Trump. Mr. I'm going to drain the swamp. He's looking at Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich and some other dude that's exactly more of the same, George W. Bush warmonger. I'm going to drain the swamp, but I'm going to put in a bunch of George Bush-type Republicans to be Secretary of State, the main people who are in charge of bombing everyone. Kind of like Hillary Clinton, that Secretary of State that was in charge of bombing Libya, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan. Oh yeah, more countries and more bombs than George W. Bush. That's what Hillary Clinton was? And that's what he's going to put in as Secretary of State? Now, nobody is confirmed yet. But this seems to be the people he's talking to, and I hope to be completely wrong. I hope to come on here with another video soon and be like, I was so wrong. He picked a legit person who is actually trying to protect our soldiers, protect our country, and play defense, not police the world. I would love to be wrong on this video. But so far, from the people that we hear that he's talking to, it is all warmonger, establishment Republicans, the absolute opposite of draining the swamp. So for all these nut rider Donald Trump fans, I love him. He can't do anything wrong, guys. I told you why I was voting for him. I told you that I love the fact that he was not bought and owned, and I hope that he can learn and grow and not be corrupted. So far, I am not super impressed with some of the choices he's making, and the Secretary of State situation is a disaster. In my opinion, what he did with Hillary Clinton is a disaster, and to me, it makes me go, oh, looks like another typical George W. Bush. Another Obama, another Clinton. And for all you guys that think that these guys are all colossally different when I'm talking about Obama, Clinton, Bushes, I mean, I'm sorry. You just look at the basics of what they do, and it's practically identical. So I am hoping that I'm wrong on all this stuff, but so far, not very good. All right, so now let's get into some positives. First of all, it sounds like, and this has not been confirmed, but it sounds like, and I've heard this through a very credible source, that Donald Trump is not allowing people in his administration unless they sign a form that gives them 5 years that they are not allowed to be a lobbyist after they are out of his administration. Now, I was told that Newt Gingrich was not willing to sign this form, and so he is not going to be part of Donald Trump's administration because Newt Gingrich wants that money of being a lobbyist. And so that part right there makes me go, hey, at least Donald Trump has got some positives. He's still, no matter how much I hate all these things that he's doing, the parts that I was talking about, at least there are some things that he is doing that is really good. My personal belief on this lobbyist stuff is I don't care about lobbyists. I have zero issues with lobbyists. What I have an issue with is the government having enough power that a business thinks, hey, I can give these guys hundreds of millions of dollars and they can control me, or they can give me special privileges. That to me is unacceptable. All Americans, no matter what your wages, no matter what your business, should be treated 100% identically. And to me, that's the way it should be. So you could be able to give your politician $100 million, but they can't give you jack squat. They can't treat you differently. So to me, the issue isn't lobbyists. To me, the issue is our power, the power of our government, how astronomically large it is, how they can hand out special favors. To me, that is the problem. Businesses are always going to do what's in the best interest of them. So you can't blame a business for trying to take advantage of the system. You have to blame the system. And that's just my perspective. All right, so another thing I want to get into is TYT. This is who I listen to when it comes to listening to liberal news. I don't know anybody else that I rather over them, so that's who I listen to. I can at least listen to them somewhat sanely without pulling out all of my hair, even though I am balding, so I guess it's already happening. TYT, they went off and said, hey, you know what, the alt-right, they equal white supremacy, white supremacists. I'm sorry, guys, but TYT, anybody else that is trying to go, oh, alt-right, white supremacists, this is so disgusting. This is such an emotional argument. And I've heard this again, I heard this from Van Jones, the black guy that works on CNN. And he goes off on this Thanksgiving and how we need to be emotional and how, you know, when we're talking to our friends and our family members about politics, it needs to be emotion. Okay, emotion is nothing. It is zero, zippo, zilch. I can tell you, I am so emotional. The sun's gonna fall out of the sky. I'm so worried. But that means nothing. What? Unless I have factual backing for the sun falling out of the sky, my emotion is zip, zero, zilch, absolutely worthless and pointless. I could be crying. I could be screaming. But all that emotion means nothing. You need factual evidence to make an argument. So Mr. Van Jones and how you feel that Donald Trump is going to do this, and you feel that, and you need to let your people know that your emotions matter. No, your emotions don't matter. What matter is truth. What matter is facts. And so if you have facts that point out that Donald Trump is going to treat blacks differently than whites, then you can be emotional about it and say, hey, I'm emotional about this because I have factual evidence. But this whole, hey, let's not talk about real things. Let's not talk about facts. And this is literally his words. Let's not talk about facts because we all have different facts. Let's just talk about emotion. That is bullcrap. That is absurd. That is not acting like an adult. That's like acting like a 6-year-old. My dad can beat up your dad. And maybe there's even more fact to that because your dad's bigger than the other dude's dad or whatever it is. So anyway, TYT is doing the same thing by using this emotional argument. Oh, it's emotionally charged. Alt-right equals white supremacists. Let's just call the alt-right white supremacists. We shouldn't be talking about the alt-right at all. We're just going to call them white supremacists. Now, I've been called alt-right. I don't consider myself alt-right. I don't consider myself Republican, Democrat, I guess, independent. I just consider myself an open-minded human being that tries to think critically. You know, one of those weird people. And so, to me, it's like if you're going to put a shade of everybody's a white supremacist in the alt-right, it shows that you really aren't willing to have a serious conversation. You're worried about the emotional side of politics instead of the actual factual side of things. When I see the communists who support the Democrats, do I just say, hey, Democrats are all communists? No. When I see the Democrats who now are in bed with Obama with all these wars and killing people, do I say, hey, Democrats are warmongers? No, not all warmongers are Democrats. I mean, this is such absurdness. But it really shows that we're not willing to have a logical conversation. We're not willing to battle in the battlefield of ideas. We just want to make some emotional argument that's going to tug on somebody's heartstrings. And they're going to fall to our side because it's an emotional argument. Well, honestly, it's childish. We're adults here. Let's actually have an argument or a discussion pointing out why we believe our views are more accurate than somebody else's. And we do that with reasoning, facts, evidence, not my feelings got hurt, or you don't make me feel very good because I don't like the tone of your voice. Come on. Let's grow up. Let's act like humans. All right, so the final thing I want to get into is we've got a gentleman who he's running his business and he will not sell to Trump supporters. He will not sell to Trump fans. He believes that they're all bigots, and so he's not going to sell to them. And there are Trump people that are getting on the bandwagon. Oh, no, we can't let this happen. Well, first of all, I'm all for it, 100% for it. And I'm going to get into this, and I think this is really an important issue that both the right and the left are complete hypocrites on this. Let's support a free market. This is the free market is the most non-racist, non-biased market in the world out there. So let's just go complete free market, no government control, no government telling him what he can do with his business, no government telling anybody what they can do. And we allow this guy to not sell any of his product to Trump supporters. Okay, good for him. So now we have the same ladies, these ladies that were dressing Michelle Obama. They are now saying, or the designers, I guess it could be guys too. They're saying, oh, we're not willing to dress Miss Trump. We're not willing to dress her. Okay, more power to you. Don't allow them to. Now we have other designers that have that chance to get their products out there and to promote their products. Cool, more power to them. This is what competition does. What about the Christian ladies or the people that said, hey, I don't want to bake a cake for gay people? Okay, let them do this. The reality is that it takes business away from that person. Gay people can now go outside that Christian shop that won't bake the cake for them and wave signs and say, hey, this person will not treat me the same way as someone else. And now that the competition has an advantage on that cake maker. Now the man that will not sell products to Trump supporters, he loses business to all those Trump supporters, and his competition can raise prices on Trump supporters and allow even more profit for the competition, driving the other fellow out of business. This is the beauty of a marketplace. And people go, oh, we have to have government involved. We need the government to control businesses. We need them to have a minimum wage. We need the government to tell businesses, oh, they have to hire black people. They cannot discriminate. Well, guys, first of all, I believe that a businessman should hire anybody they want, including if they're racist, they should be racist. And they're allowed to be. And you know why? Because the same reason that these people are all losing business because they're locking out Trump supporters, they're losing business, so it gives them a competitive disadvantage with their competition. They have a higher likeliness of going out of business. It gives their competition a better chance of driving them out of the marketplace. So let's go into the racist thing that makes everything so important. Okay, let's pretend we've got two shoe stores, or even one shoe store. One shoe store, and he says, I am not going to sell to blacks, I am not going to hire blacks. Well, now all of a sudden, you have a marketplace for any person to go into the market and say, hey, I'm going to start selling to blacks. And I'm actually going to sell to blacks, and I'm going to make a big deal about how I will sell to anyone. And I will hire black people, and I will sell to black people, and I will be able to bring in the business of black people, and I will be able to bring in the business of white people, anybody that's out there who is not a racist scumbag. And I will take the competition, all these people that are going to this racist scumbag, and I will be able to bring all the sane ones to my business. There are not enough racist scumbags to keep that other man alive, keep him in business. And now I'm able to drive that racist person out of the marketplace. See, this is what the free market does. And when we start creating all these rules and regulations and telling people what they can and can't do, in my opinion, we entrench racism. The marketplace would literally bring racism out of the marketplace because people would go, oh shoot, I need to get rid of my racist tendencies because now I'm realizing it affects my pocketbook. But instead, the government forces people to do this and that. And so when I'm forced to hire somebody at a minimum wage, or I'm forced to hire a black person, now I'm not happy to be working with that person. Now I'm not resolving my racist issues. So this whole point of how the free market fixes these things and brings us together and works on how to unite us is exactly the point. Good for Mr. Anti-Trump guy, not selling to Trump people. Good for him. More power to him. If he brings in all these people that are anti-Trump people and he starts having success and his business blows up, more power to him. If he goes out of business because Trump people won't buy his product or he won't allow them to buy his product, that's a decision he made. And now his competition has more success because of him. That is the beauty of this marketplace. That is the beauty of a free market. So Trump supporters, you should not be attacking this guy who is anti-Trump. Good for him, more power to him. But on the same token, you Democrats who love this guy who's not going to sell to Trump supporters, you're complete hypocrites as you attack people who won't bake a wedding cake for gay people. Allow them to make their decisions according to their conscience, just like that man is making a decision according to his conscience. Allow people to be themselves. Allow people to be individuals. We need to be protecting individual freedom instead of instead of forcing everybody into a group. You have to do this. You have to do that. Our country was based on freedom. Freedom for everyone. And that is what we should be so proudly doing. That is what we should be working towards and working together for. Defending that person's freedom to do whatever they want, even if we disagree with it 100%. That is what our country was founded on, and that is what we should be supporting and defending, whether we like their decision or not. That is all I've got, guys. Brandon Renas here. I'm going to be signing out. Thank you so much for watching the video. I am so appreciative for every single view I get, every single comment. I truly appreciate it. If you hate this video, give me a thumbs down. Tell me why. Give me a reason. Tell me where I'm wrong. Give me factual evidence. Tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong. I truly appreciate it. I'm not going to hurt my feelings, I promise. If you guys like it, give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you again for the comments. Peace out. Till next time. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.